shaking, the truth stays on the front lines. Oh, money words hit the wall, let the straight the water holds tight. I ran said no, clear and cold. Now every screen feels alive. Oh, doubts, fresh alarms, and the whole world keeps his eyes wide. Count every source, check every name, follow the trail, let facts remain. No room for spin, no time for fear. When the pressure climbs, we still stand here. NEWS, never end the working service. NEWS, we stand when the world gets nervous. Newsroom 61, hear that call go through. Hosted by Henry Williams and Shin, Akuma, JML2. NEWS, never end the working service. White House tables, hard faces, Trump with Netanyahu there. Every handshake got weight now, every sentence got the air. Reported threat, security tight. Melania in the crossfire glow. That kind of fear gets named so the public can know. Track every lid, hold every clue. Ask the hard questions, see it through. No easy lines, no polished lies. When the fog rolls in, we keep the sky. NEWS, never end the working service. NEWS, we stand when the world gets nervous. Newsroom 61, hear that call go through. Hosted by Henry Williams and Shin, Akuma, JML2. NEWS, never end the working service. Hold firm when the headlines bend, hold firm when the data breaks. Resilience in the water, not accountability, not takes. Investigate, illuminate, let the record never hide. If the pressure tries to bury truth, we bring it back alive. NEWS, never end the working service. NEWS, we stand when the world gets nervous. Newsroom 61, this is bigger than the view. Hosted by Henry Williams and Shin, Akuma, JML2. NEWS, never end the working service. NEWS, never end the working service. NEWS, never end the working service.
Peace, and blessings. Welcome to another segment of the Newsroom. Never in the work service. Is America food really safe? Is our food really safe? Is it an outside, inside force? Our politicians lead us down a cliff. We witnessed several things. We talked about when Obama was the president and he passed laws, executive orders to give beef herders, especially black beef herders, money for past wrong that was done by the FDA and other government agencies like the Ag Department. Now we see that America ranchers with the high feed costs to feed the animals, the high maintenance to raise cows, and to bring it to the auction and get railroaded with cheap prices. And when it go into the market, by shipping it to your low shoe grocery, the price raise to the point that the farmers cannot sustain having cow herd. So something else occurred. America started buying beef from other countries. And in that process, we lose ranchers. We don't know the full scope of the beef prices because you got several states impacted by beef that wasn't even inspected by the FDA. So we have President Donald Trump wanting more beef from foreign land, and they cutting FDA inspection. We don't know what we are eating. We don't know how safe because you got a large group of Americans, Muslim, Jewish people, and you also have some Christians and just regular Americans who eat beef. And this affecting them. This affect all of us here in America. Our economy, our food, our safety, our lives. So I'm your host, Henry Williams, and the co-host, none other than Shin Akuma, JML. Let's go ahead. Y'all know what they say. Round of applause, round of applause, round of applause. What's up, Shin? What's up, Shin? How you doing?
Hey man, I'm chilling. How about you?
Good, good. Just trying to keep my mic
Yeah,
on.
we needed to do this show because personally I'm affected because beef is one of the main staples in my diet that helps me to stay and maintain my health and nutrition based on my diet on kidney dialysis because beef is a good source of high protein and certain amino acid that helps you to rebuild your body back from when the machine strips your blood of these nutrients. And I find it very peculiar because, you know, I don't understand how Trump he ran on the slogan "Make America Great Again," but he's giving all these other countries these leeways and these different advantages over American interests. Like in this Argentina situation with the beef. So for the next 90 days, he said he's not charging them any tariffs. He's not charging them any import fees. And he's going to be selling the beef for 25% less than American cattle is going to be sold. But it goes into personal capitalism, right? You have to be smart. You have to use your discernment, right? Just buy American beef. That's all I got to say about it. That's it. So we know the one that's from Argentina is not going to say USDA inspected beef. Number one. Number two, we know it's going to be cheaper, right? So those are the two. Those should be the two markers when you're in the supermarket that you should look out for if you don't want to buy this Argentinian beef. If you don't want to buy these imported beefs, you look for the USDA symbol on it, and we know that that's American beef, 100% made in America. And secondly, Sometimes in life, I learned a valuable lesson a long time ago as a teenager and in my 20s. You have to pay for the quality that you want. You have to pay for that. You know, if it's not a big deal. Like everybody's making it a big deal about Trump and doing all this importing the beef and da, 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 da. People saying, "Well, I'm gonna have to go vegan for the next 120 days," and da, da. You just gotta use your discernment. You know what I'm saying? You gotta just get the American beef is gonna be very easy to spot compared to the Argentina. It's simple. It's gonna say "Made in America" on it.
Yes,
It's gonna say USDA certified beef.
yeah. So let me get everybody up to date. So recently, the United States Department of Agriculture, Food Safety, and Inspection Service (FSIS) announced that approximately 29,628 pounds of raw beef was recalled after being imported without the required federal re-inspection. The issue was discovery during routine FSIS inspection activity. So mainly you could say nearly 30,000 pounds of raw beef imported from Argentina. Everybody here, Argentina, by a United States company was recalled in Florida and Texas due to missing USDA imposed re-inspection, infecting produce like top, sirloin butt, eye round, top side cap, flat, and many other companies. So people got to understand this. We have United States buying beef from Argentina. See, this was done 6 months ago when we was having problems. See, they stopped talking about it in the news, but it was going under the table. When Donald Trump became president, he like, hey, I'm gonna make America great again. The first people who got the chopping block was the beef herd. Because Donald Trump, he got the president of Argentina is his friend. So
And not to mention, I found out today the president of Argentina is actually Benjamin Netanyahu's first cousin.
can y'all hear me better? Somebody say my volume was low. Can y'all hear me a little louder?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. So yeah, so okay,
Now,
so
did you hear what I said? That the president of Argentina, I found out today, is Benjamin Netanyahu's first cousin.
we gonna put right here. I wanna play this real quick. This is let's go. This is the connection between Donald Trump and the Argentina president. Why Trump is spending 20 billion to make Argentina great.
For just $67, you can generate as many videos as you want and never have to worry about showing your face.
It's MAGA all the way. It's make Argentina great again.
President Trump has announced a $20 billion deal to rescue Argentina, angering some America First supporters and U.S. farmers.
The problem here is that the U.S. is entering into a situation that it has no exit strategy for.
So what has Trump actually agreed to, and how does it work?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
To understand the deal, you need to know who this is. Argentinian President Javier Milei, a chainsaw-wielding anarcho-capitalist elected in 2023. MAGA loves him as much as he loves MAGA.
Javier Milei was an economist, he was a TV pundit who had really very little public experience. But he came to office and he ran for office, causing radical change to a country that has spent decades with economic turmoil.
Monthly inflation peaked at over 25%. Almost half of the country was in poverty. Argentinians had decided they had nothing to lose and voted Milei in.
When he took office, one of the kind of slogans of Javier Milei was that no hay plata, there's no money. So he just began to really slash public spending, drastically reduced the number of public workers, closed ministries, and halted basically all public works projects as well.
Argentina always makes these promises and then it never follows through. But Milei followed through. And so capital flows came back to Argentina, investors came back to Argentina.
And Argentina needs those dollars because its economy is unique. It has its official currency, the peso, but people also widely use the US dollar to set prices and especially to save because no one trusts that the peso will keep its value.
So the country became uncontrollable debt. They had none but debt. And it was so restricted, that economy was so restricted that a lot of American funds and global capitalists ran out of Argentina. But once he became president, once they put him in office, someone just like Trump, when he was running, they say this is Trump queen.
And don't forget that boy who was a representative, the ambassador from Argentina, who got caught up in that. Remember we did that show about that he was one of those people who got caught up in that trafficking sting in Las Vegas. Remember, and then they sent him back to Argentina with 20 billion American on him. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And they flooded that. So you see, they flooded the economy with that. That was like a stimulus injection, right? 20 billion American dollars, like, because he went with cash. They didn't give him no electronic funds. They gave him straight cash.
Yeah, so you had his leader. He got very good connection with a lot of heads from a lot of people who make money move. And them people who make money move, they are very connected to Donald Trump. And this is where the United States is putting their trust in the beef.
After initially devaluating the peso, he wanted to keep actually a stronger peso in order to help bring down inflation. He was successful in that regard.
To do so, Milei first used a so-called crawling peg, where he steadily devalued the peso every month, and later a currency band, where he kept it from falling outside of this floor and ceiling.
A lot of economists say that's not sustainable because you need to have ample central bank reserves in order to defend the peso.
If things turn sour for the government, investors are going to test your ability to maintain that exchange rate control.
From the start, Milei faced protests against his spending cuts, and many are disillusioned by bribery accusations against his top aides, including his closest confidant, his sister Karina. With the economy faltering too, Milei's party faced significant losses in local elections in early September.
He didn't have a strong political party when he took office, so he depends a lot on the public support in order to advance his reform. So once you kind of lose that.
So, see what I was saying earlier, he need the investors. So the investors is shipping money into the country. So when you invest, you need profit. You need profit to pay out the investors and for your currency to stabilize. And that's where the beef come in. He is selling Argentina beef to America so to stimulate his economy. And that beef, as we've seen recently, because it's not coming from us, this is new. This is actual news. This not we not saying that the beef around the world, or we'll say, okay, beef from Saudi Arabia, beef from Japan, beef from Europe. No, we are not saying none of them countries. We are saying off top. Nearly 30,000 pounds of raw beef imported from Argentina. Argentina is the beef that has not got re-inspected, cause salmonella and other type of problems that people would have to deal with. People got to understand that it started.
Not to mention, Henry, hold on, let me say this too. Not to mention that the beef had been rejected in March by China for having an illegal antibiotic in it that's been illegal in China since 1996.
Yes, yes. See, people got to understand that China and European countries have, even Japan. We're going to start with Japan. Japan had banned a lot of United States beef, and Japanese love beef, especially Kobe beef. But they had banned America beef because of the simple fact that a lot of cows was bunched up in farms where they live in their feces and all that, to the point that you gotta give the cows antibiotics and steroids. And when that occurs, that that is a no-no for regulators, especially in Japan. So a long time, America beef was not able to be sold in Argentina. So not Argentina, in Japan. So now we having a problem where we cannot sell our beef to a lot of places. So now we are buying beef to the point that it started in Florida, in Texas. So now we gotta. I want to make sure everybody know, because a few days ago, a Chicago meat processor had recalled roughly 3,215 pounds of ready to eat corned beef because it may contain different bacteria. It can cause seriously and occasionally fatal injury. Fatal, severe. See, these problems is not just diarrhea. These
Oh, and hold on, and let me say this one too, Henry, because it goes with exactly what you're saying, right? Tyson also got jammed up because they had to recall that contaminated beef, and they lost so much profit that it was to the point that now they had to close down two major factories and lay off 3,200 workers.
yeah. And then people gotta understand this. This is August 25th, 2026. This is occurring this month. We are giving you news this month. The action announced by the United States Department of Agriculture, Food Safety, and Inspection Service in early August this month covered dairy meat that was shipped to different institutions and different companies like Tyson, like Oscar Mayer. You could also say places like Nathan, different companies. You feel me?
Smithfield Food.
Yes, Smithfield. So this this mean, what is the meaning? The meaning that this affect packages that could still be sitting in people's home refrigerators and freezers weeks later. That
Or it
means,
could still be on the store shelves too in places like Dollar Tree or Dollar General. So Family Dollar. So people should be careful in these low income areas that they frequent these stores. They need to be careful buying those beef products in those stores because they might be contaminated. And we know these dollar stores don't take anything off the shelf that's recalled or that's expired because they're still trying to make that profit margin. So it's very important for you guys to use your due diligence and discernment and make sure you're paying attention to where you're shopping and where you're getting these beefs from. And like I said, you shouldn't be buying any beef that doesn't have the USDA certified inspection on it because if you're not buying that, then you're definitely buying some imported beef.
Yes, yes, yes. True that. So, like people in Chicago, y'all know about city food industry. Produce they produced the recall item on a single day in mid July 2026 this year. And because the produce carry a long shelf life, federal inspector flagged the risk that the meat have already moved deeper in the supply chain before the contaminated nation concerns surface. No, no illness had been linked to the produce at the time of the announcement, but the agency classified the recall at a level that signaled a reasonable probability of serious health concerns. That means people got meat in their home, not just packaged meat, but canned meat, processed meat that could cause
Henry,
serious.
turn your volume up a little bit.
Uh,
Turn
what
your
about
volume up a little bit.
what about now?
All
Is
right,
it
it's good.
loud? Okay.
Yeah, because you was starting to get too low.
Okay. So yeah, so we have we got corned beef brisket. We got oh my goodness. We got a lot of food stuff, processed stuff. We gotta do stuff. This we got stuff natural wild where we got stuff in the Midwest. And we got stuff in the South. We got stuff
And we don't get particularly religious out here, but the Bible told us about this in the book of Revelation. You know that the only thing that was going to end up not contaminated, excuse me, is the wheat and the alcohol. Basically saying you can only eat bread and wine. You know what I'm talking about?
yeah.
And then you have these companies that, just like we showed on the other previous show, we have that companies like Dole, who are in Del Monte, who's having problems selling their canned fruits, and now they're cutting down orchards of fresh fruits, peaches, and various other fruits, where we're getting food shortages because a lot of the stuff that everybody does frequently buy is contaminated. And starting like 6 months ago in the beginning of the summertime, end of the spring, they started eliminating these fruit trees, and a lot of these vegetables was getting infected with these parasites. And
Yeah.
if people was paying attention, it's all because Trump has cut all the budgets for the food inspection services and the governmental bodies who are responsible for food safety.
Yes, yes. We are living in a time where big corporations is worrying more about their profit than the people. Where it was like, hey, the government is in debt, so we gotta cut everything, slice everything up without actually putting notice that a lot of these agencies is needed. So let me throw this up in the screen, and y'all can see what's going on a little bit more when Trump is buying beef from overseas. So let me put it up. There you go.
I tried every type of ED medication, Viagra or sildenafil, and Cialis or
Meanwhile, another rancher in Middle Tennessee says he's dealing with a completely different issue.
Most people think rain's great for a farmer or a rancher, and typically it is, but there can be too much, and it keeps us out of the fields from cutting hay, so the animals don't get the vitamins and nutrients that they need out of out of the grass.
Trevor Pennington says a lot of ranchers are giving up altogether and selling their land to developers.
The next generation doesn't want to take on that workload. At the end of the day, if a farmer wants to leave something to his family, the best case for him is probably to sell the land and leave the money to his family.
These ranchers say it takes at least 2 years to raise a cow to be slaughtered for beef, so rebuilding America's cattle herd, they say, could easily take a decade. In Nashville, Tennessee, Asher Red, Fox News.
See, and that's kind of wild because it's going to take 2 years to restock the cattle supply. So you have to think about that. That's so Trump made sure that it was well within the window of him getting out of office. You see what I'm saying? He's doing what every president that's Republican in the past has done on their second term. And that's destroy as much of whatever they can of the government while at the same time plugging through these policies that help the rich and benefit only the top 1% and really hurt everybody else in the process because these people think about it, like it took 8 years of Obama to clean up George Bush's mess, and right when the economy started catching speed, we had the Donald Trump first term, which Donald Trump used a lot of his first term to undo a lot of the progress that Obama had made in these different various outcomes in the economics and governmental management and things like that. And we can see, as Henry brought up earlier, about the subsequent helping of these black farmers and black ranchers, that these cowboys who are doing the work, and even I wouldn't even just say black ones either. It was just in general, American cattle herders were getting good results out of that, because I know that during the Biden administration, I was buying a lot of the beef. It was good. It was good quality meats. We were getting it at a fair price. It wasn't cheap, but it wasn't expensive either. It was just right. The prices was on point. Now Donald Trump is trying to like these American farmers are saying, they gotta hike the price of their beef up. So now, like for example, we might be buying a pound of ground beef. That pound of ground beef, American ground beef, USDA certified, could have cost us $10 in the store, right? In the market. Now it's going to cost us about $16, $17, but the Argentinian beef is going to be like $7, $8. So and you know how people are, they look at the price. They don't look at the quality of the meats a lot of the time. And that's why a lot of these people is getting these different parasites and these different illnesses where they ended up in the hospital and they ended up in these bad predicaments with their health. Because you got to think about one thing, and it's very important, especially coming from somebody like me who has dietary concerns and I'm on a specified diet. You have to take your health as your number one wealth. Everybody in this system right now is on we got to get our finance right. We got to get our money up. I got to drive this foreign car, or I got to do this, I got to do that. I got to buy these designer clothes, etc. Instead of worrying about buying quality food or making sure that they're eating appropriately what it takes for us to be healthy, because that should be your number one priority, is your health, the health of your loved ones, your children, your wife, your girlfriend. Because if you ain't living, how you going to make the money? If you're not living, how you going to enjoy the money? If you're not healthy, And you could take this from me, or you could ask anyone else who's in a health concern predicament, that having chronic health problems is one of the most expensive things in this earth. It is one of the most expensive things that you could have placed on you, is having chronic health issues. And then you have, it's a double whammy. They're hitting us with these contaminated foods, and then on the other end, they're taking away certain people's Medicaid and certain people's prescription drug coverage. So they're hitting you on both sides. They're hitting you with not with the inability to get your medication, and then on the other side, you're having to eat food that is putting your health even more at risk, and then you don't have these life-saving medications.
Yes, yes. And also on the other note, we I'm gonna bring y'all into history. In the history, we're gonna go back to a little bit few centuries ago, and the understanding of cowboys. Yeah. When we think of cowboys, as we most likely always seen, we would think about John Wayne. We would think about John Wayne riding across the United States West. But the first cowboys, we gotta understand, lived in Mexico. They lived in the islands. These was black cowboys. The cow came from Africa, and the cowboy was black. So fast forwarded, but still in history, like I said earlier, we're gonna go to Obama. President Obama, for his fight to help black farmers receive justice, because the United States Department of Agriculture, USDA, failed black herders. So President Obama put together $1.25 billion in compensation for black farmers. What happened was you had representatives of white farmers and other people came to on the courts and say, hey, they are giving these people based on race, not fixing a wrong that occurred, but saying, hey, they giving them based on race, and the government don't do that. That's discrimination, and sue. So now, then helping your brothers out, you both is in a tight spot. When the United States government was helping some people off their boot and putting them in nice shoes and cars, it was tearing down black herders, black farmers, looking down on them. Now the rooster had came home. It is chrome. I'm not about to make that noise. I know sometimes I'll be cracking jokes. I'm not about to make no rooster. But still, like, we have big corporations tearing the little man up, and then now we send a constant. We know that they take little cow, the little boy cow, they don't need it on the milk farm. They take that and sell the body meat. I forgot the name what they call the baby cow, bell meat or something like that. I'm not trying to get it wrong with
Veal.
you. Yeah. So we don't need that. We want a full grown, healthy cow. But we are getting beef from Argentina and other places gonna be next. Where to the point that they might expect it once it get off the ship, But once it go in, once they take that wrapping off and it hit a little air to go into another packaging to be processed, they could hit it with some steroids or some vitamins to make the meat look good and healthy. But once it touch that air, that contamination, that bacteria, what do bacteria do when it touch oxygen? It's just like a human being. It grows, it feeds, it lives. But we as human beings, American citizens, do not need no bacteria living in our food. That is a very, very dangerous president. See, we not just gonna
Not to
say,
mention, it's very dangerous to be packaging and repackaging meats because that means they had to, in order to repackage it, that means they had to defrost it, repackage it, and then refreeze it, and then it gets to your market, your supermarket where you live at. Then they defrost it, then they repackage it with the store brand packaging, and put it back on display, but now it's refrigerated. But you already froze the meat three different times and defrosted the meat three different times. And anybody who cooks at home knows that if you defrost meat more than one time, that it already starts looking grotesque and the meat gets more tough and it's harder to cook. So you know how that goes there. Just and we're talking about beef that's coming from Argentina that was supposed to be sold to China in March. So that means it's been sitting in that freezer for a good 6 months.
yeah. Yeah, so okay, so now is that time. Now is that time. What time it is? I'm about to show you what time it is. This is for the MVPs. This is for MVPs. What's up? What's up? How you doing today? This your host in Williams. This your co-host JML. This is that time. Now let me explain what this time is. This that time, that commercial break. This where we tell you who we are, where we at, how can you find us, what's the deal. So now we do have a website. It is at www.newsroom16.com. Check us out. Check us out. Give us ratings. Check the videos out. See who we are and what our mission statement is. So now we also on TikTok. Some of y'all might have had got the link from TikTok. If you came out of TikTok and here today on a live, appreciate it. Most people from TikTok want to stay in the TikTok world, but if you hear from TikTok, thank you. If you hear from Facebook, thank you. If you hear from my personal message, when I personally sent you the link, you are the MVP. You know. So we also on TikTok on the newsroom underscore 16. If you want to help support the channel, go ahead and put that $ newsroom 16. That's the what? That's the cash app. You'll cash out, but make sure you put donation on there. Donation or newsroom. So we know exactly what the money is for. It's going towards the bill to make sure the channel still runs. So now it is code time. This is code time. A new code. Here we go. Now we are dealing with the code 9851. The code is 9851. 9851. If you miss this code, hey, look, we 44 minutes in the show. If you miss this code, you have to go all the way through 40, 44 to 45 minutes. The code is 9851. Now, if you know, if you MVP and you know that code, you know you get special perks, discount, and free gift. Make sure you write that code down and holler at your boy. So now, getting back to the show. Donald Trump, then making America great again, is making Argentina great. See, when we were looking at about the currency of Argentina currency is very low. They dropped, they manipulated the currency. So it'd be very easy to buy into their economy. So Argentina could do just like China and hit America with cheap beef because their currency is very low. They can hit us with, I say, a whole call from America. I'm gonna just make up some numbers so we could just get a bigger picture. So I say a call for 1,000 in America, and a call from Argentina is 500. See how cheap it is. So now that call coming into America is supposed to get hit with tariff. So much tariff that they would add another 500 worth of tax on that. So that call will be around the same price as American beef. So they both could be competition. But when you get a beef that is low tariff for 500, that would make the big company say, hey, I could save 500. By saving 500, I could buy more cars. And when they buy more cars, it is more uncertainty that them cars that is getting raised in Argentina is healthy and well versed and ready to be sold in the American market. They are playing with our lives here. This is why the newsroom brought this up to you. Is American food really safe? Look. This is not the view of the news. What I'm about to show you. This is not the view of the newsroom. I don't know the facility of where this guy got this information from. It's not verified, but you got some people online, they making this statement right here. I'm about to play.
Trump has just allowed 300,000 pounds of foreign beef to come into America. Enjoy eating dead Palestinians.
Let me play that again.
Trump has just allowed 300,000 pounds of foreign beef to come into America. Enjoy eating dead Palestinians.
I don't know if he's saying that as to the point that the people who supplying this meat is the patient in the G side of the Palestinians, helping Israel, or he's saying that the meat that is getting
Yeah, well, there's a video from in the '90s, in the late '90s, of a Jewish rabbi who is invested in fast food restaurants, and he said that they do be grinding up humans and putting them in the beef, mixing them in with the beef, and sell it to the goyim. You know what I'm saying? So. Excuse me, but it's not hard to see because we know in the past year, 2 years, that McDonald's and other fast food chains have been inspected and found out that they had a certain percentage of human meat in the burgers and in the hot dogs, human DNA. So it's not far fetched, but it's another one of those things, Henry, where We're not saying that it's verified by us. What we're just saying is, even though it's an outlandish claim, you have to use your discernment. You have to be on your due diligence and pay attention to what you're eating and what you're consuming, what you're buying. Remember, the whole point of capitalism is to buy what you feel is right, not to buy what they want to sell you.
Yes, and I also want people to understand that, hey, if your ears is sensitive, y'all need to hear this. Human flesh, we can say typically it fall into the category of red meat. And by most
And you know what's funny too, Henry? If we going into that other show we did before, that if my memory serving me correct, I think that cannibalism and consumption of human meat is legal in 7 states.
so yeah, very, very, very weird, very strange. We gotta make sure we stay on these people, especially when it comes down to our food and our life. And people gotta understand, like, according to anecdotal experience from people who have actually died on human flesh. Because we gotta also understand that in 1920, author and journalist William Seabrook traveled to West Africa, where he claimed in his book that hey, he ate it. So people who did eat it say, hey, it's classified in red meat. It is much more subtle. I don't know. I'm not eating human meat. So if it classified under red meat, well, you can't take human skin and fry it and turn it into human cracklings, like hog cracklings in Louisiana or pig skin. Nah, you can't do it. It's not, we not classified like the swine. We classified like the bull, red. Yep. But okay, we we got some issues. America seems like we are on a decline. Our food is getting scarce. Where we depending on outside influence. I'm scared. I want y'all to know to make sure y'all check y'all food. It I never thought I'd say, but now I could say make sure y'all deal with y'all supermarkets like family. Always talk to your butcher. When you pick up some meat, talk to your butcher. Few days later, make sure you know what's going on in the news when it comes down to a recall. Make sure you stay vigilant. Make sure you stay vigilant. Because when a war break out, when a revolution, when the people uprise, or something happen in this country, we gotta make sure that food security is good for you and your family. Think about it. Stay vigilant.
And if
So
you're really gonna, and just so I can give people the tip, the ultimate tip, right? That I can give. That's the most credible thing that you can do. Whatever you buy, make sure that it's kosher because they're not selling that BS to them Israelis and them Jewish people. So if you can buy kosher beef, it's almost guaranteed that that beef is not going to be the Argentinian beef. It's going to be the high quality USDA beef that they already know because So because in order for it to be kosher, it has to be inspected by the high priest. So we know that it's not that goyim slop like they keep saying. They're feeding everybody in America the goyim slop and saving all the good food for the billionaires and for the Israelis and the Jews.
Yeah, yeah. So see, it's shocking we didn't know. Let me make sure y'all see me. So it's shocking, but we didn't know that Roland Martin had done a show 8 hours ago talking about America first with a question mark. Trump has banned Argentina beef imports as black farmers lose family, lose farms. See, this right here is critical, everyone.
And another thing that this also is pushing towards, Henry, that a lot of people's not paying attention to, is Bill Gates just got secured 3 different patents for lab grown wheat. He's been authorized to create 3 different types of lab grown meat by the United States government for human consumption.
Yeah. So let me put this up real quick.
Want to be a part of it? Listen up.
So for everybody, if you just tuning in and you MVP, the code is 9851. 9851. If anybody wants to, y'all could put that in a live comment. 9851. And I also want to thank the moderator. The moderator on Latoya Johnson, she's been rolling with us in TikTok. Her support go far, appreciate it, and she is here mostly every time we doing the show. If she's not out of town or busy, she here in the show supporting us. So let me go ahead and share this screen, and we can go from there.
Hello, my name is Adam Ferrari, and I'm the CEO of Phoenix Energy. I like
Thousands of black farmers all across the country. And its president is calling out this
organization representing black farmers across the country opting out of President Trump's $12 billion Farmer Bridge Assistance Program. Action News 5 Sydney Gray heard from the organization and explains why.
This is where the Black Farmers and Agriculturalists Association is based here in Memphis. This group represents thousands of black farmers all across the country, and its president is calling out this particular funding, saying that it's racist.
Ordinarily, BFO would not be indifferent to the plight of all farmers.
But President Thomas Burrell says his organization had to take a stance against President Trump's new $12 billion Farmer Bridge Assistance Program.
In light of circumstances and events that have happened over the last several years, culminating in denying African-American farmers and the sons and daughters of African-American farmers the same rights and privileges that now the administration says it is going to make sure that it's guaranteed to farmers in general.
President Trump announced the new aid Monday. The money would be paid in late February.
We're going to make the farmers so strong. And I'm not even talking about financially, because they just want to be able to produce what they can produce. And we're going to make them so strong that it will be indeed a golden age for farmers.
But Burrell says the U.S. has not entered into trade agreements with African countries, nor does the $12 billion include farmers who harvest tobacco, sugarcane, peanut, pork, and livestock. Many of those farmers are black.
African Americans owned 20 million acres of land in 1910, but as a result of systemic discrimination, have lost virtually all of that land.
Burrell also notes $4 billion meant for minority farmers by the Biden administration due to discrimination. Money, he says, never made it to Black farmers because white farmers, he says, filed lawsuits to stop the payments.
I think that it's time that fairness becomes, in a very simple word, something that the government would embrace. Fairness.
It's not a matter of don't give it to A. The question is, if you're going to give it to A, why are you not going to give it to B?
In downtown Memphis, Sydney Gray, Action News 5.
Well, to answer his question, hold on, I gotta say something though to answer that man's question, right? And I'm being unbiased when I say this. That boy Trump don't give a damn about no black or no white farmers in America. Because if he did, he wouldn't be getting that Argentinian beef. Let's stop the division. That's where we see how he's playing the role on folks. He's trying to make it look like the black farmers is getting all the aid, and now the white farmers got to stop the black farmers from getting aid. And then when they're writing the aid bill for both parties to be able to get the funding equally, at the end of the day, Trump don't give a damn about writing a bill to give funding equally because he's giving Argentina a 25% discount. How you gonna, you know what I mean? How do you compete with that? That's like saying that I'm gonna be selling lemonades outside in the summertime. I'm gonna be selling some iced lemonade for $1, and the government is subsequently letting giving my competitor 25 cents, so that way for every one that he sells, so that way he can sell his at 75 cents. So he can undercut me as an American business, right? And it's not right because if that's the case, how that see how they play the divide and conquer on us. I'm pro black, I'm pro melanated people. I'm for my people. You know what I'm saying? But I also am not stupid either. I can see when they're trying to use the good old Roman strategy, divide and conquer, you know, which is an ancient strategy that these people use. They've been using. They don't just use it on black people in America. They use it on white people in America. They're using it in the Iranian conflict. What did Donald Trump just say in his economic assault on Iran? Anybody doing business with Iran is going to have severe consequence. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you got to think about it. It's divide and conquer tactics out here. And the thing that is hurting them the most is we have to stay unified. Nobody's saying that we gotta be together like integration type seriousness. I'm saying it from a perspective of we can't let them play us into these social conflicts where they're playing us against each other, and when really the culprit is the people in the government who are against both parties, but try to make it seem like they're on the side of one of the two parties that are conflicting. While Donald Trump and Marco Rubio and these different people is making record profits, and their bank accounts is seeing higher and higher net worths as the months pass by.
So, okay, we haven't done this before, but we're going to do it today. We want to give a shout out to our top fans because we have more than one person in the live chat. Want to give thanks to also thank you again, Latoya Johnson. You the number one fan. And then we got, for the first time seeing him in the live chat, we got Edward. Edward's in at number 2. And we got Shauna in at number 3. These are the top fans who is commenting in the live chat. Thank you all for the support in the live chat. We got 4 likes so far of the video. That means people who coming in is liking the video. We appreciate you for the like, the share. Make sure y'all following and get more people follow, more people in the live. And also follow us on TikTok because that's where you, the people, could interact with us on TikTok. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Shin, Akuma, JML, he's not in TikTok yet. We trying to get him there, but he's not there yet. He missing all the fun. I'm just playing. But yeah, we trying to get everybody on the crew there. We gonna be once we done with the live shows, I'm gonna take the recording and put it inside our video. So whatever show, whatever topic we do, you could come here to YouTube and see the end result. Like today, we did a show about ex-officer Shin, who passed away for colon cancer. If y'all don't know who Shin is the ex-officer who had unalived Ms. Sandra Mack. We was talking about that on TikTok earlier today, asking everybody their thoughts on it. So make sure everybody be very vigilant about the food, know the history, the geography of your food. Know that we are going through prime time where our farmers, American farmers, the lifeline of this nation is getting challenged. It would take, it might grow, it might take a cow to grow 2 years before you can sell a cow, but it takes 10 years to fix something that is devastating. Then trying to buy beef from other countries, we should fix our supply chain. We cannot just be a country that get its food and ship all our workers, all our jobs to other nations. That's going to be the downfall of America. That's going to be the downfall of our security, our food security.
Because you know what it is, Henry. Before we close the show out, I'm gonna bring out this. This is the most valid point of the reasoning of why they're doing this, why Trump's doing this, right? Because the Trump administration is not trying to, but actually executing the construction of the oligarch technocracy, in which, for people who don't know what that means rulership by use of technology. So they want to rule over us by using technology. So now they want to get rid of the ways that we can make our own food supplies, farmers, cattle ranchers, livestock, etc. And and with the space that they're gaining from all these farms and these homesteads and these cattle ranches that are being sold, is these are more areas they can put data centers. They can pop up more data centers. And I've been watching a lot of videos and doing a lot of deep research and deep knowledge on Palantir and a lot of these techno giants out here, these technocrats that are like Elon Musk and them, we did the show yesterday on the blackouts in Gary, Indiana, but the part nobody's talking about is how come Gary, Indiana's had a blackout, no power for the last 2 weeks, but the 4 data centers that are in Gary, Indiana have complete power and no service interruption. Even during the storm, they didn't have service interruption. And it goes back into the Agenda 2020, the Agenda 2025, and the Agenda 2030 that They wanted to construct this high level technocracy. They want data streaming, and data acquisition to be the number one import and export of America. They want us to be the cutting edge of these data centers in the technocracy of the world, where we're going to be high tech. We're going to be using AI for everything, and and they're using the AI to basically isolate us away from being self-sufficient. Because if you're self-sufficient, you don't need the AI.
And then, so yeah, with that, when I realized everything was going on, the gender war, the rainbow nation, the conflict, people, ego, where I'm by myself, forget a group of people. Willie Lynch, remind me of the Willie Lynch of how they controlling individuals. So, being going too much into this, we about to call it a good night. So, again, for the people who is VIP, the code is 9851. 9851. That's the code for free. No, for discounts and free merchandise. Discounts and free merchandise. The code is 9851. So when you see me, say the code, and everybody, you know the deal. So outside of that, make sure you all check our live that we made before this. It's about Gary, Indiana power outage. Make sure y'all check it out, like it, sub, share. Get more people in. Let's get these live chat rolling more. Make sure y'all sub. When you subscribe and we go live, you will get a notification. We want y'all to stay notified. So make sure y'all sub, get more people sub. Let's build community. Look, we can have y'all come in the live chat because we had 3 people in the live chat tonight. That's good. Everybody in the live chat, we can go up to TikTok. Yeah, yes, we can make this live more, get more people family member where more people in the live, the people in the live mingle with each other, and the people in the live can ask us questions, and we can answer right here live. When y'all ask questions, we could be right here and right there can answer y'all questions, so we can have a community. Thank you, thank you. Yes, we try to put on the best show as possible so people could get the best information possible. We are not here we not here for fame. We not even monetized. Well, we not even monetized. We pay for our own service, our AI technology, our streaming service. We pay for it. We not looking for money and fame. We doing it because we the newsroom. Never in the work the service. TikTok something different. They got gifts, so it's part of the program to get people to gift. But outside of that, we depending on our work ethic to make sure we get to pay the bill. If we don't pay the bills, we can't come live. But we work hard to make sure we put this information out. And when we say something, turn around when we type it up and find it, the media talking about the same thing. Because we on it. We on the information. So make sure.
And a lot of the times I notice that they do be that it looks like we're not getting views, right? In the way of like seeing how many people's watching and stuff like that, what they project. But we know from our influence onto the legacy media, onto social media, and seeing the shadow of that, we're casting the influence onto people through our works, that we can see it in the projection of how they're presenting their information and the way that they're saying things, or the way that they're bringing things to the forefront. That if we say it today, they wasn't bringing that up last week, but now all of a sudden, for the next 3 days, everybody is saying exactly what we were saying, or they're bringing out topics that we was bringing out, or they're saying things that points that me or Henry individually have came up with. Because see, people don't understand, me and Henry, we do a lot of meeting of the minds, I guess is the best way you could say it, in the back chats when we're not on these shows. We have a lot of discussions, bouncing ideas off of each other based on the facts that we're seeing in the media and what's going on in society, and then based on our own life experience and our own educations and our different military experience, our different economic knowledges, and things of that nature. And we bounce these ideas off of each other, and we gain insights that most people don't have, because they're more worried about the mainstream narratives. They're worrying about what people's gonna think or what people's gonna say. Whereas, like Henry said, we're not doing it to be famous. We're not doing it to gain some type of clout. We're doing it for the community, you know? We're doing it so, like you said when we first built this channel, started the channel, it's for the community and for individuals to be well educated so they can make the right decisions for them, for you, the viewer. We're not telling, that's why if you notice, we don't give a lot of our personal opinions. Me and Henry is not up here touting information trying to be right. We're not trying to be right. We're trying to be truthful and unbiased in the way that we present the information. So that way you as the viewers have the ability to make sound decisions that are going to benefit your life. But you're also well informed to the perspectives of other people at the time who may not think or see things the same as you.
Fact. So we got 4 people on the live so far, but it showed that altogether it's more than 10 people watch. Want to thank you all again. If you MVP and you've been waiting for that code, the code is 9851. Make sure you write it down. The code is 9851. And we about to call it a good night. The website is www.newsroom16.com. You'll catch us on TikTok on the newsroom_16. If you want to help us, put donation in the note and put $newsroom16. Put donation or newsroom so we know when you send it through Cash App that it's going straight to the YouTube channel. That we make sure that we pay for the streaming. The code is 9851. So we're gonna make sure we drop this information on you all, because we might don't all agree on everything and how to solve everything, but I can for surely say that I love you all to the point that I want to make sure that y'all are healthy and living a productive life. So stay blessed. Yes, stay blessed. So Shin, drop your last word so we can go ahead and head home.
Hey, you know what time it is? Positive vibes brings positive results. Positive results means you're accomplishing your goals. Just because you go through a negative circumstance doesn't mean you can't have a positive outcome. So stay determined, stay vigilant, and most of all, do your due diligence, you know. Anything that you're going to do in life, it always takes research and development. So just make sure you're paying attention and watch out for that Argentina beef.
Yes, yes. You got beef. Take it to the street. This beef, you don't want to take it to the street. You don't want to take it to the barbecue cookout. You don't want to take this beef and try to make hamburger meat, chopped meat with it. No, 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 no. Wrong beef here. Careful.
Yeah, don't mess around and get your whole family sick, you know, because we are coming up on on this what is it? I think Memorial Day weekend. It's gonna be the last weekend
Labor Day.
of the summer.
Labor. Yeah, Labor Day. Yes, yes, Labor Day.
Labor Day, yeah, Labor Day.
So everybody know the code is in the live chat, 9851. Y'all know the website. We love you all and have a very, very good, blessed night too. Because we your host, Henry Williams, Akuma JML, Trunk Unknown Source, Beef Import is America, food really like that. Like, beef.
Tonight the maps are shaking, the truth stays on the front lines. Oh, money words hit the water, the straight the water holds tight. Iron said no, clear and cold. Now every screen feels alive. Oh, doubts, fresh alarms, and the whole world keeps his eyes wide. Count every source, check every name, follow the trail, let facts remain. No room for spin, no time for fear. When the pressure climbs, we still stand here. NEWS, never in the working service. NEWS, we stand when the world gets nervous. Newsroom 61, hear that call go through. Hosted by Henry Williams and Shin, Akuma, JML2. NEWS, never in the working service. White House tables, hard faces, Trump with Netanyahu there. Every handshake got weight now, every sentence got the air. Reported threat, security tight, Melania in the crossfire glow. That kind of fear gets named, so the public can know. Track every lid, hold every clue. Ask the hard questions, see it through. No easy lines, no polished lies. When the fog rolls in, we keep the sky. NEWS, never in the working service. NEWS, we stand when the world gets nervous. Newsroom 61, hear that call go through. Hosted by Henry Williams and Shin, Akuma, JML2. NEWS, never in the working service. Hold firm when the headlines bend, hold firm when the data breaks. Resilience in the water, not accountability, not takes. Investigate, illuminate, let the record never hide. If the pressure tries to bury truth, we bring it back alive. Williams, and Shin, Akuma, JML2. EWS, never end the working service. EWS, never end the working service. EWS, never end the working service.